post any music, I think I'm about to play Max music, because if I post any music and then I post the video on my YouTube or anything else, and that's where it's going, they're gonna block it because of content. So try to get some background music, maybe. Let's go right now. Let's see. If I go on YouTube, if I go on YouTube, they're gonna say that I stole someone's song. I don't know if we can get background music, but I'm pulling up the questions right now that I have for JERAKAH. She is about to tune in, and then I can add her in. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. And what are you guys into? Comment below. Like, I'm trying to answer questions. I'm trying to, just a conversation. It's not just about me talking fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's more about using social media to our advantage to reach the social world. So let's do it. I'm pulling up the questions with JERAKAH right now. So me and JERAKAH, just a quick backstory. We met through a mutual friend. I don't know if she was a mutual friend, a mutual contact, I guess, on Twitter. And then we just hit it up. We started following each other on social media. So she's like my social media friend. I've never met her in person. Just to go and show you the power of social media. Sometime in your everyday life, you will not find people who are like you, agree with you, kind of like your social media post because they get it, not just like it because you're just trying to get their life on social media. They actually understand you. And, it takes a while for those things to happen. Just like any other friendship or any other meeting, you're not besties in a day. It takes time to develop those relationships. And I develop relationships on social media, and I maintain them. So JERAKAH, first guest on my show, is a social media friend who I've never met. And this is, I could say, the first time we've spoken face to face. Yeah, I feel like I know everything about her. Like I said, I pay attention to her on social media. She, in the early days, she never used to be as outspoken, but I used to always pick up kind of like, I feel like you are outspoken, you're just for whatever reason, like, trying to find your, like, I don't mean, like, don't be scared kind of thing, like, don't be scared, like, let them know what you're trying to say, and I'm like, as the years went on, I gradually saw her social media post, and I'm like, oh, like, share, facts, like, I just saw her come into her, like, own, and then she started, like, blogging, and, like, direct selling, and she's also someone I look up to. As far as being an entrepreneur, direct selling is like not an easy task. You need to be on top of it. You need to maintain customer and clients and all those things. So JERAKAH is a friend that I really, really admire through social media. She lives in a small town up in, like, I believe it's like upper New York, because I know one time I was traveling to Buffalo. My cousin went to school up there, and I would like, oh, she's here. Hold on. Well, I'm still listening because I'm pulling up the question. I was saying she lives in a small town up close towards Buffalo. I know that much because one time I was going up to take my cousin back to school in UB, and she was like, oh my god, you're in my town. And I'm like, what, you live here? Like, why? It's like Hicktown. Like, I want to get out of here. So I know she lives up there. So I find that intriguing as well. I'm from a city life. I moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles, so all I know is really the city. People who live in a kind of a small town that I guess social media must be different to them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you literally know your local community. I don't know all the people in Brooklyn because it's like, I know a lot of people in Brooklyn, but I can't know everybody because it's like a huge borough. Just imagine living in a small town where everybody knows everybody's name. I found that always, like, intriguing that, like, she was so outspoken, and I'm like, everybody knows you. Like, girl. Anyway, let me tune her in. Alright, so no judgments on our first go. This is going to stay here and go on my YouTube channel, like I said, so that, everyone can tune in and learn and grab something, hopefully, from this conversation. Just waiting for JERAKAH to join. Just did my facials now. It's not that bad. I did a lot of, Oh, there you are! Hey! Hi! Hi! I'm like, oh, look at my face. I see you. All right. It's popping, girl. Yeah, absolutely nothing in common. He's 15 years older than me. He's white. I'm black. But, like, when you start to, like, dig into it, like, we joke, like, he's more black than I am. And let me just explain that really quick because people get real upset. Right. But, like, my husband was born in Long Beach, California. I grew up outside of Compton. Like, okay, I don't know anything about that life. Like, I'm not lying. Like, the people living next door to me ride around in horse and buggies and, like, don't have electricity. So, like, this whole, like, it's interesting, though, but, like, we're perfect for each other because where I lack, he is there, and, like, where I am, like, and
he's not. Like, he's retired military. He's been all over the world. You know what I mean? So, like, what's that?
A previous.
Yeah. Yep. So
he has a son also, because he has a son. So that, also, like, not just the couple aspect, but like the whole family aspect.
So, ironically enough, even though this is like a super small town and predominantly white, we really haven't had any backlash, which is interesting to me. Like, anyways, you know, like, I heard,
that's what I'm saying. Not every town is not like that. Like, some people are.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, I mean, like, I remember, like, my uncles, like, you know, kind of, like, took him aside and was like, listen, do you really fully understand what you're about to get yourself into? Like, you know what I mean? Like, not just because of Jerikah and, like, who she is, but, like, just, like, what this whole marriage and this whole family dynamic will bring. And, like, I mean, honestly, overall, it's been great. I mean, people come a long way.
Right. But you're inspired a lot of family stuff. Definitely, I watch a lot of your pictures and just the way you guys, you know, positive imagery, you know, just being different and kind of just, because I always think love, when people fight for love, you know what I mean? And that's what changes the entire world, I honestly think. Because when they change because someone is losing someone that they love, or they're fighting with someone that they love, or, you know what I mean? I think that's how really things change in the world. So I look at couples like you guys, or families dynamics, as you said, and I think you were the example that our country or even world can kind of learn from. You know, the age different guys, the fact that you said you guys seemingly on paper look like opposites, and you're still raising a child in that environment who seems to be a pretty good kid. You know what I mean? So it's like, cool. Thanks for sharing that. So moving on to the next question, I put me and my fiance in a similar situation, and we think we get to see this country from a different perspective. Because of it. Like, do you feel like that? So obviously, yeah. So what do you? So let's say in a situation, just to give a little bit more feedback. So like with
Braden.
What's your son's name?
Braden.
Braden? Brand?
Yep.
Braden. So with Braden battery's still seemingly dying, sorry. If Braden comes home and asks a question that is like raced kind of, do you and Trevor have different point of views, or do you kind of just,
you know,
come together and have a collective
similar,
point of view?
which is great. And like, it's so funny too, because Braden actually came home with some homework. I don't really know what they were doing in social studies, but it basically to the effect of, I don't remember the exact thing. So he had to define the word racism, and so they had to draw a picture to go with the definition of the word. And he drew a person being arrested by the police with like a sign, you know what I mean? And Trevor, I both are like, oh,
right.
You know what I mean? But like, you know, and it's not like, I mean, we don't.
Right.
Yes. And I think he is more conscious now because of me and because of like our family. You know what I mean? That maybe if I wasn't here, he probably wouldn't even think twice about that, or that obviously wouldn't be the way that he would, you know, draw a picture to illustrate what that word means. But because of the times and because of, you know, we're very open about, you know, current events, that type of thing, you know, and so that was pretty interesting.
Because like I got him into like advocating. Well, he started marching just to support me because I'm an activist in that way. We march for Black Lives and stuff. But it's also interesting to see like how his family being Spanish, and it's not necessarily their fight. This Black Lives Matter. They not that like if they see something or they hear something, like his mom, for example, claims me as her daughter now. You know, and it's like she advocates for Black rights, which before was never an issue for her. But now it's like, you know, if we have her grandkid, and if I can have a kid, it affects her immediately, you know? So I think that's a very interesting part that, you know, our politicians and all these people talking on the news, whatever, they can't seem to get these stories across. But it's easier to just have a conversation with people than to try to have us to, it's like all these different titles. Are you a red state or this? You know, all these little categories. Just what it is that we need to do, like, you know? I think like interracial couples or couples who are just kind of living, you know, we're like multiple people in the same house. We're doing that every day, you know? So we get different, I guess, perspective than what we hear and then what's kind of thrown at us. This is how you guys are. I'm like, oh, really? Or Like, can we really get along? So yeah, thank you. So anyone in your town for president?
Yeah, actually, you know, so last year, like during all of that, I was managing a restaurant, and the cook was like pro-Trump. We had these like, you know, back and forth type, you know, things, and like it got to be pretty hostile, honestly, and like it was real crazy. It was real crazy. I think, you know, something interesting about like that whole election thing in general, you know, like I took Braden with me to go vote, and so we like went through that process together, which, you know, is something that he had never experienced before. So that was pretty cool, just to like, you know, be able to go through the process of like, what does voting actually look like, you know, and then to see those results coming in, you know, live time. Again, just another like real life example of what's happening.
Question I have is, why did you want to start sharing so much of your personal life, like on social media or like through your blog?
So
why do you think
basically, once I kind of came into my own, and I just was like, you know, like the tagline for my blog is "A small town girl with a story to tell," and I just kind of like got that because that truly is who I am at my core. You know, like I grew up in a small town. I grew up, you know, in that environment, and you know, I was the only black kid in my school district, not just in my school, but in the whole district combined, and like just kind of like what that looked like. And so that kind of really set the stage for where I'm at today. And so I just thought, like, people need to hear this story. You know what I mean? Like, it's not anything like abnormal, but it's just a story that needs to be shared. I mean, because I think that
you're like, there's something to learn through storytelling,
and
obviously.
Has always been like a great outlet for me, and so I just kind of like been trying to figure out, you know, where to go with that. And so blogging is my newest thing right now. So
awesome. Well, good luck with it. We're gonna promote it here in the stuff. Hope people can check it out. It's really good stuff, people. You should check it out. Like I say, my next question is like I said to you in the questions. Just to prove a disclaimer, you guys. She had the questions beforehand, so you know I'm not like throwing things at people that they don't want to coming up as a little personal. So do you want to talk about?
Never have had a miscarriage. So what it is, like we're struggling with infertility, can't get pregnant. It's funny what kind of like came up. I did a live on Facebook one time, and basically like what happened was someone said like half-assed basically like, maybe it's because your husband's so old, and I'm like, yeah, no, it's not him, it's definitely me. And so there was like this whole like, there was like this whole, like, you know, like whatever. So basically what happened was we went through like a first round of fertility, and it didn't work. So it wasn't a miscarriage, it just didn't work. So what's that?
Yeah, you go through treatment. But I'm saying, because I'm not familiar with fertility. When you go through fertility, it's just like treatments
and
to kind of help you.
Stages. So we were kind of like at the beginning stage. What we did was called like an IUI. So basically, you know, I took a whole bunch of hormones and steroids for like 2 weeks, and then you know Trevor came, did his thing, like, you know, we did that whole thing, and then we had to wait 2 weeks to see if it took, and it did not. So that was what we did first. And so there was like just this whole, you know, part of it was the hormones, part of it was, you know, like whatever. I mean, they pump you full of all these hormones. You have to do all of these crazy things. I mean, I was
different. How does your body
I was like a basket case. Like I was like super emotional. I was so like irritated. I was inserting in places I didn't know needed to be inserted. Like it was real. Like we're getting real here, okay? It was insane. So it was just like, you know, a handful of pills in the morning, this at night, and like it was crazy for like 2 weeks, and then it didn't work. So then they were like, you know, well, you can come back and we can do this again. We usually do these 3 or 4 times before we move on to in vitro, which is what most people are like more familiar with, is the in vitro, and that's like where they basically fertilize the egg and then put the egg back. So then
I heard. That's one like you said, yeah. Okay. All right, so interesting. Moving on. We just shared that. Just tuning in.
Just
go
like
something
similar. Shameless plug there too. I have a group on Facebook called The Unsung Lullabies, and it's for women that are going through infertility issues, having problems conceiving, that don't necessarily have a place to turn to, because it's like something that you don't necessarily want to broadcast. I'm broadcasting it, but that's not for everybody. So that there's completely private, like whatever we can link it, and then
we'll post that too. Yeah. We'll post that Facebook group and the link underneath YouTube, so everyone can go there. If that's something that you guys need, we'll definitely put that for you. For things like right now we're dealing with a president that doesn't take accountability for anything, or entire White House or government, because that's exactly what it is. You do something wrong. Whenever you realize you did it wrong, you say, okay, hey, I did this wrong. Like, you know what I mean? And I think you could forgive yourself, someone else will be able to forgive you, and I guess that's just the way that we, we'll raise our kids to obviously, we know this, we're in another,
yeah.
So, right. Okay, cool. So that was that was good. Because that bullying thing was something I always wanted to kind of get off my chest, and I'm like, how do I see it? Like,
nobody wants to admit that
Yeah. But anyway, I got bullied too, though, so I'm not like...
Right.
You take it and you dish it, I guess. So, back to that. I'm like, I used to be chubby. I'm like, so how does weight gain and weight loss affect how happy we feel? Because I say I used to be chubby. I never consider myself fat because everyone, like, eats... You were never fat, people tell me. But, like, I guess I was fat, or I don't even know. Like, being black, you struggle with that whole body type thing. So I'm like, the doctors clearly said I was fat, overweight, you know what I mean? Body type. But it used to make me feel unhappy, not because of myself though, because of the external factors. Even my parents, my mom, you know what I mean? It would just be like, why are you buying pants that don't fit me? You know what I mean? It's just like,
it's hard.
Things like that. So before with weight and all that other stuff, I remember when you were getting married, you lost weight for your wedding dress. I remember that whole you posting, and like I said, I got kicked out of the workout group.
So like, the whole journey kind of started. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we all struggled through it, through junior high, through high school, college, like whatever.
Yeah.
And then I realized when I got married that I was the heaviest I'd ever been that day that I got married. And I was like looking at the pictures, I was like, oh no, like this is crazy. And so then I became just 150% and lost a ton of weight, gained a bunch of muscle. It was great. And I felt great. And then I tore my rotator cuff 2 years ago and had to basically stop working out cold turkey, and pretty much gained all of the weight that I lost back. And so now I'm back at that same place that I was before, and I'm like, holy crap, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't,
yeah, your mood, right? It makes you feel like, your confidence drops, obviously. That's what happens, right? So it's important to stay healthy, try to maintain, just because we know, when you're gaining weight, and you don't, whatever you're doing that's putting it on, you, look past that, because you know in the future you're going to be upset that you did this. That's just meant that whole, you just, whatever.
Right.
Be mad when you get back. One or the other. So I just be like, listen, I know I ain't masked up, so don't judge me. I'm putting it out.
Thanksgiving is on Thursday, so I'm just you know what? Friday's good. Because Thursday we are eating.
Anyway, so tell me about your more entrepreneur stuff to end it off. Tell me about your online business and the business selling, and how'd you get involved with
selling
and all that
basically,
stuff.
I was a part of a company that did workouts and that kind of stuff, and that kind of is what initially started pushing me towards getting healthy and that type of thing. And then once I pretty much got injured and couldn't do anything, I kind of felt okay, I can't be still promoting this, telling people oh, you didn't work out today when I didn't work out, because I can't move, you know what I mean? So and then that just kind of started to dissipate. And so then somehow one of my friends that from high school was hey, you have to try this mascara. And I was okay, whatever. I'm that girl that would go to Sephora, and every time I leave there I spend $200 and I have no idea what I bought, or how to use any of it. You know what I mean? Like, they just start shoving stuff at you, and you're like, oh yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, sure, I'll try your mascara. And like, I liked it. It was fine. Like, whatever. And then, you know, like, I also extreme coupon. And so this is how this girl got me, because she was like, listen, you can get all of these products at a fraction of the cost. And I was like, okay, sounds like a coupon to me. Like, let's do it. So, but like, I really had no intention at all of like doing anything with that, because I thought once I was done with like the whole weight loss thing and like that company, I just was like, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't for me. Like, you know, whatever. And then this like makeup thing just kind of started to take off on its own, and it kind of started to like snowball itself. And so then, you know, like before I knew it, I was doing really well. Like, Trevor and I just got back from Punta Cana, and that was a trip that I earned from like all this makeup that I sold in 6 months. Like, so like we stayed at the Hard Rock in Punta Cana for 5 days, all inclusive, all expense paid trip. And so like, and I never thought that I would be able to do something like that. I mean, you always hear about these claims and these people like doing these things and like whatever, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's them, that's not me. And then like, I remember getting that email like, hey, you earned this trip. And I was like, what? Like, it was just like, me? I earned something? Really? So, I mean, like, it's fun. Like, I like makeup. So it is what it is. You know, it's not going to go.
Can we want to help you push sales? So next weekend, guys, is remember Small Business Saturday. I will be shopping at Small Brand. So we're going to have that link down. Can you share for us now? The name of
the Chocolate Beauty
site, I guess, that we can go get them from. The Chocolate Beauty. Less spoken to outspoken. So what causes that change? You kind of answered that question already, but like, what was the moment that made you get up and be like, all right, I'm getting the blog, I'm going on to GoDaddy, I'm probably like the rest of us, get our domain, and like, what made you like really like?
I think after, I mean, I kind of like, once I like got married, and I just kind of like started sharing things on a more like open basis, just kind of like what we were doing, because like I was excited. It was something new that I'd never done before. Yeah. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, like, I'm married now, like I really don't care what people think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe that was it. So that kind of was like what got the ball rolling, I guess. And then I just was like, all right, this is what I'm doing, you know. At one point, like a couple years ago, this is funny because I was actually thinking about this when I was getting ready to get on here. Because I'm thinking about how I got removed out of this planner group or whatever, and then like how you like commented and you're like, yeah, kind of like how I got removed out of your group, and like that whole thing. So like,
but it was me like I guess on Facebook.
Yeah, so I think that kind of had like something to do with it too, because once I like joined that network and like kind of like started doing that, like that's what we did. Like we shared our journey and like whatever, and so that gave me like something to kind of like jump in with and start sharing. And then, you know, that just kind of evolved to other things, and then I was just like, screw this, like let's just put this all out here, get a book, like just stick it all in one spot. So
Awesome. Cool. So on your blog, you shared an experience many of us deal with, bullying. Funny enough, I just left because I work in a school now. After school, I'm a dance teacher, part-time. So we have to do all these mandated like reporting thing and child abuse and all these things and bullying up underneath. We had the last one I just ended up leaving was suicide prevention, but we ended up talking a lot about bullying. So back to my question, I'm like, I used to be a bully too. I was the bully, and I'm like, I find comfort in your story because it's something I'm not proud of as well. Like, why was it so easy for us to hurt another person? So I read the blog post of people tuning in.
Yeah, so basically the whole thing was kind of like, I don't even know where that blog post came from, honestly, but it just kind of, basically in a nutshell, like, I moved around a lot. I was sick as a kid, so that forced us to, like, go to, like, the nearest city, which would be Rochester, and then, like, I was back and forth to Maryland and whatever, so I missed a lot of school in elementary. So then, when I came back to school, we moved around a lot, and like it wasn't hard for me to make friends, but it seemed like every time I made a friend, I was leaving school. And so then, like, I don't know, I guess I was socially awkward because I never really was around it. You know what I mean? And so I started to get bullied. And so then my response to that was like, F this, like, I'm going to be the bully. Like, I'm not going to, this is crazy. Like, and so it was kind of like, you know, the survival of the fittest. Like, either you be bullied or you bully. And so I chose to start bullying. And I think it kind of came off at first as like me trying to be funny, me trying to fit in, and then it just kind of became a snowball effect of like me just being a straight up bully. And so kind of like, you know, and then like, I don't know, I think even in that blog post I called myself like a recovering bully because like really, I mean, and there are times where, you know, like that idea or that like that person or those emotions do pop up, you know what I mean? But still it's like, you know, we're not a deal with them.
I'm comforted in it because like that's something that I like. This is like maybe the first time I'm even admitting. Well, I mean, I don't know if the first time I'm admitting it, but I guess claiming it because you know you say I used to make fun of kids, but you never call yourself a bully. Like you know what it is. And with me, I think it was the same thing. It was like I was very quiet and like not the Tahyira that people see today, you know. And it was just like I was struggling with stuff, and then I hit this point in adolescence. Remember, it was like junior high school where I was so smart and I still achieved well that, you know, I would get pushed up the kids.
Right.
And just be like,
yep.
Teachers, you know, it makes you not friends, whatever. Like, I'm not a friendly person, but so that was just my counter way. I'm like, well, if you're gonna call me a nerd or whatever, I'm gonna knock you down.
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah, honestly, that
But like, what the heck kind of mentality is that? I mean, obviously, this is a major issue. Like, I just learned, I have facts now because I just came from this training. I mean, bullying is like, I don't know, I can't remember the percentage, but it's like, out of all the reasons kids end up committing suicide, bullying is like, what, number 2 in school? And now it's worse in our time with the social media. I mean, I bullied in school, never like online, never like tormenting people at degree, you know? But now it's just out of control. It's out of control. Parents don't even know what's going on. Teachers don't know. I mean, I'm getting trained as a teacher to be aware. I'm like, how am I supposed to know when these kids, they on the low with everything? Like, it's very difficult. So, what would you think, or what could we do as recovering bullies to like maybe stop other kids from bullying right now?
Be honest and like share our story. You know what I mean? Because obviously the two of us are not the only, you know, recovering bullies. There are thousands of us out there, but it's something that you're not necessarily proud of. Right. You know what I mean? But it's something that you're like, you're not proud of. And like you said, it's something that you probably is like the last thing you would call yourself is a bully. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, well, no, I'm not bullying them. Like, no, you're talking shit about these people.
Like, people would never assume us right now. If people see us in our adult life, they would never have thought. I would have never thought you were a bully. I'm sure you would never thought I was a bully.
Right.
Like,
and
we're like,
crazy about that blog post is like, so that blog post like automatically, it shows up like on my business page or whatever, on my like page, and like this girl that I used to hardcore bully actually like read it and like started commenting, and like I was like, whoa. And she was like, you know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, I really was a bully, because even like writing that post, I remember that, like, maybe this isn't really, maybe I wasn't really a bully. Like, maybe I kind of like, no, I definitely was a bully.
Right. It's taking accountability, and I think, like, it's true, you said, we just keep telling the truth and taking accountability for things. Things like, right now, we're dealing with a president that doesn't take accountability for anything, or entire White House or government, because that's exactly what it is. You do something wrong. Whenever you realize you did it wrong, you say, okay, hey, I did this wrong. Like, you know what I mean? And I think you could forgive yourself, someone else will be able to forgive you, and I guess that's just the way that we, you know, we'll raise our kids to obviously, we know this, we're in another, because that bullying thing was something I always wanted to kind of get off my chest, and I'm like, how do I say it? Like,
nobody wants to admit that
but anyway, I got bullied too, though, so I'm not like, you think you'll launch your own vlog or YouTube channel?
I have one set up. I don't really use it. But yeah, it's definitely something that I like would probably do.
I think it's a good idea to help push your makeup if you wanted to like do like just makeup and just like, you know, or like a lifestyle blog or something like that, just to help. Because I think visuals are very important when it comes to the social media stuff. I think, you know, you have to hit all the mediums, unfortunately, because this is the world that we live in. Content is very important, though. But I think that it's something that we're really successful at, honestly. So some fun stuff. What's the last occurrence?
I am reading Mastering Your Mean Girl right now. Some Australian lady. I'll have to look it up and send it to you. But so I'm reading that right.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. Maybe that's kind of what inspired that whole bullying thing. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I mean, it's a really good book. We all have an inner mean girl, and like she's, but
Gabrielle Union, she's like outspoken about that.
Yeah.
Like a former bitch, basically. She used to, and now she like shows so much love to like women. You know what I mean? She always like honoring and lifting up women now. So like I had listened to her story one time and like, you know, really candidly tell about, you know, how she used to try to just drag on everybody that that's coming for what she wanted, you know. And I'm like, wow. I thought I was a bitch, but I mean, some people, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Let's just keep it real. So, are you looking forward to the holiday season? It seems the whole country is feeling like meh, like we don't, it's been a trying year for a lot of us. This whole Donald Trump, the whole world is kind of just all these shootings. It's just crazy. So how do you feel about the holidays?
I love Christmas. I kind of like turn into like Buddy the Elf, so Christmas is like my favorite. So this is like my favorite time of year. Like I like this time of year more than I like my birthday. Like I love Christmas, like always have. And so my in-laws are actually flying in from LA this week for Thanksgiving. So that's gonna be cool. You know, and then finally it will be acceptable to like put my Christmas tree up and start listening to Christmas music, I guess. So yeah. No, it's cold here in New York. We had some snow last week for like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I thought a Christmas playlist last week, so I already started. Christmas is my favorite year too. I asked that question to you because I noticed that, like I said, we've been social media friends for a while, so I noticed that you do a lot of stuff around Christmas. Me as well. It's like I go out, I eat, I drink and be merry, literally. You know what I mean? My pocket, and it has nothing to do financially too. Sometimes I'm low, sometimes I'm up. Wherever it is, I still have the same amount of fun. You know what I mean? And so I think that's important. This is the end of the conversation, so we're just wrapping it up. I want to tell everybody, you know, because we're coming to the holidays, so money's always an issue for people. You don't necessarily need money to have fun, right? Would you agree with that? It's about good times. It's about having fun. It's about
people that love
just enjoying life. Really, enjoying life. Jerika loves champagne. I love beer. It's just like, do whatever you gotta do. The people you love, you spend time. You have a husband. I'm gonna have one. You know what I mean? With your friends, your family, whatever you gotta do to enjoy it, and kind of like turn off the outside world for a while.
I love Christmas so much because it seems to be like the one time of year that everybody is like nice. They're like genuinely nice. Like they just. You know, and they're just like genuinely nice. Like it's almost like people need an excuse to become nice, and I don't really know what that is about. But like Christmas is that one time of year that people are like, like I'm gonna, you know, go out and be the reason that somebody smiles today. I'm gonna go out and, you know, pay forward and do this, and like I think that's what I love about. It's just like the spirit of giving.
Yes. Wow, Jerika, thank you so much, girl. How would we pull this off?
You
look amazing. That's number one. I was concerned about the lighting, but I think I got it down pat now. So I'm gonna send a follow up to you just to get some links and stuff. But everyone who missed this interview, you can tune in all week because it's gonna be on my